Hey everybody, it's Greg LeBoeuf. Hey, listen, I wanted to share and add some value today, and there's something that I saw today that I felt compelled to speak out about this. You see, I'm fortunate. I get to work with a lot of adults, a lot of corporations now. I get to work with a lot of law enforcement, military, all that great stuff. But here's the thing, across the board, power comes from controlling the only thing that we can control in this world, and that's us. We can control what we choose to think, our perception of things. We can control how we choose to feel. We can control the actions that we take. But here's the thing. That's a simple concept to understand. That is a tough concept to execute on. Why? Because you see, I actually got to do something for the city of Edmonton the other day, and we're talking about a room full of professional adults that are working in very high levels. These groups work with a lot of very powerful and influential people. And within these dynamic relationships, you have a problem because you'll have somebody else that always has a little more power, a little more influence, a little more money, whatever it is. And so when you have somebody that's in a position of power, what we would think is very powerful, and you're trying to negotiate or you're trying to rationalize or work with these people, what ends up happening is somebody will ultimately try to influence or control, use their power over you to get what they want. It becomes very dominating. So again, here lies certain amounts of aggression, bullying, violence, all that stuff. What I'm driving at is this. You see, even when somebody has more connections, more political clout, when somebody has more finances or resources, or they have more, status with their job or more power in terms of firing and hiring and all this types of stuff, even when that happens, you can control only one thing, and that's you. So you can have somebody that is rude, inappropriate, aggressive to you, that is not listening to you, that is, bullying you and using all of their influence and all of their connections and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you have choice. You can choose what that means to you. You can choose to say, listen, I could quit, but quitting doesn't serve me. I can stay here. I can work my job to the best of my abilities while looking for other pursuits or other avenues to explore. I can use this to build charisma. When you make a decision to control the only thing you can, which is you have power. Okay, but I'm building to something different. What I'm sharing with that and why I went into that is because I want you to understand, most people get it, that we've all been in the room with somebody that isn't necessarily the richest, they're not the most influential, they don't have the superior, the top title or the highest position within an organization, but they have power. You see, they walk in a room and you can feel it. And that power comes from certainty. It comes from certainty in themselves. Because they know that they teach other people in this world how to treat them. They know that whether people like them or hate them, whether people want to help them or hurt them or stand in the way of what they want, that they control themselves and they will always make a decision, and that choice is power. But here, let's flash forward to something. What I saw today, this is the thing. We are confused between teaching our kids responsibility and empowering them. There is a difference. And so let me give you an example. You see, a child was asked to do something that has no impact on anything. It's just fun and voluntary. The child says, no, I don't want to do that. That's scary for me. But then all of a sudden, the adults around this child begin to try to coerce this child into doing it. Why? You see, if a child, and just as an example, is asked to stand up in front of their peers, all of their classmates or their school, and asked to perform in a play or do something like that, and the child says, no, I don't want to do that. That terrifies me. And then all of a sudden we say, well, listen, it starts in the next 3 minutes, and we say, well, I really think you should do it. It'll be good for you, this and this. Guess what's just happened? You see, in this moment where this is no bearing, this is not for their mark, this is not an important life skill set or a piece of knowledge that they have to learn and grow into. This is something that should be voluntary and fun. But here, let's flash to this. You see, last I checked, no follows, the period follows no. It is a complete sentence. And here's where we're getting mixed up between responsibility and empowerment. You see, when someone says no, that's it. It's a complete sentence. We want people to respect as adults. If someone says no, anything that follows, any words that follow that, especially like a but or a well or anything like that, is them trying to manipulate or control you. We understand that. But here we are, have this young child. And she's asked to do something. Say, oh, we're going to do this, and you got 3-4 minutes. It's going to happen right now. Would you like to do this? No. But instead of respecting that, her choice, instead the adults, the people in a position of power, begin to start to coerce her into it. Well, I think it'd be good for you. You should do this, and why not? I think, everyone's got to take a turn, and we need to do this, and all this type of stuff. And so guess what they're teaching her? They're teaching her that her choice has no effect, no bearing. It is not being respected. It is not being listened to. In that moment, you are disempowering this child. Does that make sense? You see, action is power. When we have choice equals power. But when we are coerced, we lose that power. There is a difference between a child coming home, my daughter, saying, hey, listen, you have to do your math homework now. And she says, no. I say, well, Greg, you just said no is a complete sentence. In those moments, say, listen, honey, I get that you don't feel like doing that. But there's a deeper life lesson of responsibility. There is a skill set within this that we must learn. And so now I'm going to teach you about that responsibility. I'm going to teach you about the things that we need to do. But when I give her a choice, when there is something in there where she has choice, would you like to do this? This is an opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity. Would you like to do that? Or would you prefer not to do that? And she says no. In that moment, I must respect her no, because it teaches her that you have choice in that moment. And whatever you decide, whether I agree with it or not, is your power. If I offer her an opportunity, a choice, and she says no, and I begin to coerce her into this, I have taught her that when she says no, when faced with a decision and a choice, when she says no, that the person who then ignores it and does not listen to that no is valid in doing that. That for another human being to try to coerce her or manipulate her or to influence her, that's normal and that's okay. Hell, my dad did it, my mom did it, my teachers did it. Do you see the amount of devastation and the amount of conflict that we can cause in that? It's completely different to teach responsibility. Now, here's the other thing. Can you inspire your children? Absolutely. If I said, Naya, here's a choice. This is a phenomenal opportunity as I see it. But the choice is up to you, honey. You could do this, or you could not do this, or you could do this, or you could do this. The choice is yours. And she says, no. I say, I respect that. And they say, do you mind if we talk about this? And she says, yeah, I don't mind. If she says, no, I don't want to talk about it, that's it. I'll talk about it at a later date or bring it up again or just respect it. But if she says, yeah, I say, well, here's what. You don't want to do it today, and I want to respect that, and you shouldn't do it today because you've made your decision. Why I thought this might be good for you was this, that, and the next thing. I think it would help you with this and this. Is there a way that we could do this that you might be interested in doing this? Am I missing something what part of it scares you? Is there something you want to talk about that? To have a discussion about it is absolutely fine. But we have to watch when we try to coerce or influence, because tends to be what comes out. Oh, I think it'd be good. You can't be scared. You got to get over your fears. You got to get up there and do this. You got to do all that stuff. There's a lot of truths in that. But it's the moment and the way in which we do it, we have completely run over their no. And we're teaching them that that's okay to do. And so now my daughter, when she's 16 or 17, and she's out with a guy that she kind of likes, and they've been dating a little bit, and they're sitting on a couch, and maybe they kiss, or maybe they're cuddling while they're watching a movie, and all of a sudden he wants to go further, and she says to him no. And he says, oh, come on, now, but I want her to know, because she has been taught, not just because I have told her, because I have shown her that her no is a complete sentence. And that if her dad and her mom and her teachers can respect that, and that she can respect it in herself and has enough in her to know that her no is enough, that even if this guy doesn't respect it, even if this guy thinks he can manipulate or control, it's not going to fly, is it? Because we don't do what we think is right. We do what we've been conditioned to do. So there's my tangent for today. No is a complete sentence. Action is power. The only power any of us have is the ability to control ourselves, what we do, what we think, how we interpret things. That's our power. There is moments when we have to be taught and we have to learn and teach responsibility, things that aren't negotiable. But there are so many moments and opportunities where there is real choice involved, and we must empower our kids, ourselves. We must empower us to make decisions, and those decisions must be respected, especially by those close to us. That's where we tend to fail. We confuse responsibility with choice. Teach your children to be great decision makers. And most important, not just that they make decisions, but reinforce that that is their power. The fact that they made a decision, whether you agree with it or I agree with it or teachers agree with it or a system agrees with it or not. Their power is in their choice. All right, everybody, I hope this made sense. It was just a one-off tangent, something I saw, but that's it. So until next time, as always, stay safe, stay ready.